What's going on, guys? This is Raymond Ironbody McKinney, and today I'm going to talk about more on the law of assumption. Knowing if it's working for you, if you're practicing it. How do you know if it's working for you? At first, when you're practicing it, it may seem like quote unquote hard work, but it's not. It's just a way of thinking from changing your beliefs, changing your inner subconscious beliefs. Just changing your inner assumptions. That's all it is. It's changing the way you see the world. And how do you know if it's working for you? When you come to a point where you feel no longer need to seek validation from others or instant gratification or just feel like, is it working for me? Is it working for me? Is law of attraction or law of assumption working for me? When you come down to the point where you no longer worry about that stuff and it just becomes a daily, when it becomes habitual and it just becomes easier and easier through practice, when you come to a point of no longer worrying, that's when you know law of assumption's working for you effectively. Now, I'm not saying it's like when you're confident in yourself, everything comes at once. Everything's relative, guys. It depends on how natural it feels for you to assume that thing as if it's already yours. Not to think of the state like analysis and theorizing, but thinking from the state to practically and spiritually embody the thing is as if it's already yours. And not only can you do it for yourself, assuming things as if you claim them yours, but you can assume for others too, for they are only reflections of yourself, of your deeper inner assumptions, relatively speaking. So that's basically what the law of assumption is if you know it's working or not. Coming down to the point where you feel so confident and grounded in yourself that you no longer worry about how or when things are going to happen. You're just going to live your life. That's as simple as that, guys. You don't need to get all this bullshit. Like it's like, because like if you come to a point where it's like, why is it not working for me? You're setting yourself up for you're getting delusional. You're going to get delusional. And law of assumption is not about getting delusional. It's about living life, guys. You can practice this while you're going to sleep, as if you're going into the feeling as if you're successful in any asset of your life. And make this a practice every night, like if you're going to bed. Go to bed feeling successful. And whether it's in a business or relationship or family life or whatever, or health, assume as if it's already yours. That deep desire, if you desire it, the more the intensity of the desire, and assuming that thing's already done as if it's already yours, it's going to show up more quickly, relatively. That's as simple as that, guys. I can't make it any clearer than with the law of assumption. Just, again, whether it's through scripting or inner conversation or the eavesdropping, hearing someone's voice as if you were already that person, or just affirming to yourself, I am successful. And to really get into that feeling, to not just say vain repetition of words, but just to actually get into the feeling of those words. I am successful. My life is so perfect. And if you don't have anything specific, just generally say, my life is so perfect. And just really get into that general feeling as if you're already in a life of perfection. That everything's working out in your favor. No one is excluded from this law. No one is excluded. Everyone has access to this law. We're always functioning under the law of assumption, whether you're conscious of it or not. And even if you say things like, Raymond, this is bullshit. Law of assumption doesn't work for me. But that's your assumption. You cannot escape the law of assumption as long as you're in this physical body. People reflect your inner dominant assumptions, relatively. Simple as that, guys. Change your inner dominant assumptions. And like David, like one of my inspirations, David Goggins. He says that self-talk and visualization are two of his keys for success. And those were some of the things that he used to get through 3 hell weeks in the Navy SEALs, Army Ranger School, Delta Force, and all these extreme races he's done. And even with like a hole in his heart, all sorts of health issues. He had an abusive childhood too. But he overcame that by changing the way he changed his inner dominant assumptions. And that's how he became the quote-unquote toughest man alive. Because he assumed himself. He assumed himself as if he's already that person. And he was going on those bridges of incidents by going through those trials and those challenges. Assume the feeling as if you're already that person. And do not let it falter. We're that powerful, guys. You don't have to go to David Goggins' extreme example, but he's just an example of how powerful the mind is. So I hope this video helps, and I want people to really take something away from this message. And again, don't go to like extreme challenges like extreme races or anything like that. Not to the point of killing yourself or making yourself extremely fatigued and on the verge of passing out. That's not how you use law. You don't use law of assumption that way. But just use it in any aspect of your life. And watch your life inevitably change for the better. Change your inner dominant assumptions to empower ones. And live your life. To live your life. Don't analyze it. Do not theorize how life should be. Live it how you think it should be. Don't let anyone else tell you what to think. If it resonates with you, just assume that feeling as if it's already yours. And go along those bridges of incidents. I bless you all and happy manifesting. Simple as that.